Hi crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania and today is the third check-in video for the 100-day project. In this video, I'll be going over what I've made during days 26 through 35. I do have to admit that I didn't film as much as I had wanted to this last week because I was really busy starting my new job and with some social obligations. I did manage to film a couple of clips this week, so I'll show those to you now while I tell you about what I've made. On day 26, I was out and about most of the day, but while on the train and the bus, I managed to make this palm leaf. I used the same technique that I used making this smaller one, but I tripled up the yarn so it made it a lot larger. I did intend on filming myself making this leaf while on the train, but it was just a bit too crowded to do all of that. On day 27, I didn't have much energy for crocheting, so I made 2 small leaves before calling it a day. The next day, day 28, I made a couple more leaves and assembled them into a branch. On day 29, I again made more leaves and another branch, as well as took some time to film this process. Although I intended to film every single day of the 100-day project, I think it's better that I honored my energy levels rather than push through and risk burning myself out. That brings us to today, day 30. This morning, while getting ready to start filming, I went ahead and made even more of these small leaves. I'm planning on taking the 3 branches that I've made over the past couple of days and combining them with the branches of similar leaves that I've already made. I'm going to attach the small stems onto this longer wire so that I can make a larger branch. I just want to make one more leaf at the very end of this wire to help blend it all in, and then it's assembly time. And there's our final leaf. I'm now going to tie on this color that I've been using for the smaller stems and assemble the larger branch. You might have noticed that the branches that I've made over the past couple of days are a slightly darker shade than the ones I've made previously. While this wasn't exactly intentional, I'm actually okay with this difference because it'll add some variation to the branch. When I get to the point where I want to add the next set of leaves, I twist the wires together and then wrap them, making sure to go in between the branches to further secure them. It's difficult to wrap these branches while making sure that I'm still in frame, so I'm going to keep assembling and I'll check in every so often to show the progress. As I work my way down the branch, I'm also adding on these single leaves to help fill out the branch. I don't want too much space in between the branches because for the final look I want the leaves in a nice tight cluster rather than more spread out. I think that'll help add to the realism of this plant. I will still have quite a bit of cleanup work to do on these branches once it's finally assembled, but I wanted to focus more on the assembly because it'll give me an idea if this type of branch needs more work or if I'm on the right track. I think generally speaking I'm on the right track, although I might want to add more of the slightly darker shade of leaves to help balance out the branch. Here's a little check-in to show the assembly so far. It's looking a little flat, of course, but once the assembly is complete, I can bend the branches to add more movement and realism to the piece. I'm really pleased with how this is looking so far, so I'm going to add the final 2 mini branches. And here's all the leaves attached into one large branch. Like I mentioned, there's a bit of work that needs to be done in terms of adding some life to these branches, but overall, I'm really happy with how it's looking. I think that once it's attached to the canvas and shaped properly, it's going to look really lovely. I do like the use of 2 shades of green in the leaves because it adds some nice variation. Although in hindsight, I think I would have gone back and added the variation in the different branches rather than have a branch all darker or all lighter green. But that can be a lesson moving forward. Thanks for joining me on day 30 and as I caught us up on what I've been working on the past couple of days. Hopefully I'll have the time and energy to check in more often and take you along the process of making each of these plants. I'll see you shortly with day 31. We're back with day 31, and today I'm starting a new type of plant, a croton. The croton is a plant in the family Euphorbiaceae. And one thing I love about it is the wide variety of colors in its leaves. You can see in the reference image here that the leaves have a couple of different colors in each of them. I tried to replicate this look by using 2 different colors at the same time, which approximates this look without being too exact. I made these 7 leaves today, but I plan on making even more of them to fill out the plant. I'm pretty happy with how these leaves are looking so far, but I look forward to when the plant is fully assembled. Thanks for joining me on day 31, and I'll see you shortly with day 32. Day 32 was my first official work day. I did bring some crochet with me to work, but I didn't have a chance to work on it. So at the end of the day, after I had dinner and relaxed for a little bit, I managed to make another croton leaf. I didn't have much energy in me, but it was still nice to take a couple of minutes to complete this crochet work. I had work again on day 33, and yet again, I didn't find the time to crochet during my lunch break. But like the day before, it was really nice to take some time in the evening to just have some quiet craft time. Yet again, on day 34, I was at work most of the day. However, this time I had evening plans, so I made sure to do some crochet on my way to work. I didn't manage to make much, but I did make 2 more small leaves. Finally, on day 35, I made a couple more croton leaves and assembled the plant. It was a little tricky to figure out how to assemble the plant, so I did it off camera. I'm absolutely pleased with how this croton plant turned out, and I think I might end up making more of them in the future, even if it's not for this project. It was a little difficult showing the croton plant in the top-down view, so here it is now. You can really see just how big it turned out, and I absolutely love the way it looks. Even if it's not exactly like the reference image, I think that if anyone were to look at this, they'd be able to figure out what kind of plant it was supposed to be. With the wires down the center of each of the leaves, I'm also able to bend them to give it a bit more life. Anyways, this is definitely a contender for my favorite plant so far in this project, but there's still plenty more days to go, so we'll just have to wait and see what else I make. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. I know this video was a bit different than what I had planned on, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. If you liked this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. I make new videos every week, including check-in videos, crochet tutorials, and other craft content. During the 100-day project, I'll be sharing check-in videos every other week and my regular content in between. During the next check-in video, we'll be covering all the way up to day 50, marking the halfway point of the project. If you want to be sure not to miss this check-in video, make sure you turn on post notifications so YouTube will let you know when the video is released. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, it was a little difficult for me to stay on top of my project goals this past week, so I also wasn't posting on Instagram as often as I would like. But if you'd like to see more consistent updates, follow me on Instagram at @ByStefania. I'm trying to share what I make every single day in my stories. If you're also working on the 100-day project, I'd love to hear about what you've been making in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!